Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into a major retail comeback story, Ulta Beauty's absolutely stellar fiscal year 2025. We're going to break down the numbers, look at the strategy, and figure out how they managed a year where they didn't just grow, they completely transformed.
So let's just start with a number that tells you so much of the story. $12.4 billion in net sales for the year. I mean, that's almost a 10% jump from the year before, which is a massive signal that shoppers are coming back to Ulta and they're coming back in a big way.
And this number right here, this is the real engine behind those sales. We're talking 46.7 million active loyalty members. That's up 5% in just 1 year. This isn't just a list of customers, it's a huge, totally engaged community, and that gives Ulta a seriously powerful advantage.
All right, so how did Ulta actually do during that all-important holiday quarter? You know Wall Street had its predictions, but it turns out Ulta had a plan of their own.
And honestly, their execution was pretty much flawless. As you can see right here, they didn't just meet expectations, they totally blew past them. Both revenue and their earnings per share beat the forecasts. Now, why does that matter? Well, it sends a huge signal of strong management, it boosts investor confidence, and that often means a healthier stock price. Now, let's dig into what people are actually buying. Okay, so cosmetics is still king at 38%, but the real story here is skincare and wellness. I mean, look at that, 24%. It's a huge and still growing piece of the pie. This shows Ulta is brilliantly tapping into that massive cultural shift towards self-care and, skinimalism, where people are prioritizing healthy skin over tons of makeup.
Right, so results like these don't just happen by accident. Nope. This was all driven by a brand new, pretty aggressive corporate strategy.
Ulta's own leadership called this a year of deliberate, transformative change. They saw the market was shifting, and they knew they had to make some major investments to get ahead of the curve and really set the business up for the future.
And their strategy, which they call Ulta Beauty Unleashed, is really built on 3 simple, clear pillars. First, supercharge the main business, here in the US. Second, scale up brand new ventures. And third, realign the whole company's foundation to support it all. It's a simple framework, but it's incredibly powerful.
And you just gotta love this quote from CEO Keisha Steelman. It perfectly captures the goal behind all the numbers. This wasn't just about spreadsheets and earnings calls. It was about reigniting the company's confidence, or as she put it, getting their swagger back.
So, how did this swagger actually play out in the real world? Well, the Unleashed strategy delivered huge wins all over the place. They grabbed market share in both mass and prestige beauty. We're talking everything from drugstore brands to super high-end luxury stuff. They launched over 100 new brands and saw incredible digital engagement. I mean, by any measure, that's an absolute winning year.
But here's where it gets really interesting. The Unleashed playbook isn't just about making the core business better. It's about finding completely new frontiers for growth. And they are pushing those boundaries aggressively. They're going international, expanding into Mexico and the Middle East. They've also launched a whole new online marketplace and even their own advertising arm, UB Media. This is diversification in action, for real.
And check this out. This is a massive move to capture that next generation of shoppers. Ulta is launching a store directly on TikTok. This is a total game changer because it basically closes the gap between seeing something cool and buying it. A product goes viral and boom, viewers can buy it instantly, right there in the app. It's turning social media buzz into immediate sales.
But okay, let's be real. It's not all smooth sailing. As Ulta invests all this money in growth, they are also navigating a pretty tricky balancing act.
And this slide really shows you that balancing act perfectly. On one side, you've got this incredible, amazing growth, but on the other, you've got rising expenses, pressure on your profit margins, and all of this is happening in a pretty volatile economy. It's a total high-wire act.
So one of those key costs to watch is something called SG&A. Just think of it as the cost of doing business. Marketing, salaries, keeping the lights on. To fuel their big Unleashed strategy, Ulta's SG&A costs jumped over 17%. That's a huge investment that they now need to make pay off.
So with all that momentum, but also with those challenges in mind, what is the forecast for the year ahead? What's next?
Well, their official forecast shows continued really solid growth. A key number to look at here is comparable sales growth. Basically, that measures sales at stores that have been open for at least a year, and it shows you how healthy the core business is. And while it's still positive, you'll notice the pace is a little more moderate. It looks like after a year of explosive change, the new plan is to shift towards sustainable, profitable growth.
So, to wrap it all up, Ulta has undeniably gotten its swagger back. They put a bold plan into action, and it totally worked. But in the incredibly fast-moving, fiercely competitive world of beauty, the real question is whether this new strategy is enough to keep them on top. We'll definitely be watching.